Hey everybody, I'm doing something a little different today. I'm reviewing a Netflix series. This will be kind of a TV kind of series we're going through. Today I'm reviewing Stranger Things. It's a really big love letter to like the '80s and everything we love, like Steven Spielberg, Stephen King, and even John Carpenter. John Carpenter, sorry. Yeah, I'm. This is Yes, this is everything I just loved about the '80s. I mean, I never. I was born at the tail end of the '80s, that barely even qualifies, like a month at most. But I always thought most of my favorite films are from the '80s, like Back to the Future, the Indiana Jones series. There's so many good ones, and it's really inspired me a lot. I love music from the '80s. They even have a vest that's actually from the '80s. The ultimate hipster right here, guys. But yeah, so I was a big fan right from the get go. That when I saw the trailer to this thing, I was like, yes, I am definitely seeing this. And now that it's out, I can say this series is freaking amazing. It stars Winona Ryder, and she's wonderful in this series. I think it's definitely a career, like, sort of resurrection for her. She hasn't really been in a whole lot, at least that I've seen. But I'm glad she's doing something new. But yeah, the series is really it begins with these kids and they're playing D&D. After kind of a little they run through their game, they have to all go home. And one of the kids named Will, on his way home, he hears something weird and scary, and he accidentally he just ditches his bike and just runs home. He finds out that no one's there, and it's all of a sudden he hears something really scary that wants to kill him. So he runs out of his house and into a shed. And he goes. There's a gun in there. There's a rifle that he uses, or he tries to use. But when he tries to use it, that it shows up behind him and gets him. You don't know what happens to him. He disappears. So like the next day, all of a sudden, no one knows where Will is. He's gone. He's missing, and his mom is hysterical. She can't believe it. His brother Will, or his brother, his older. Will has a brother, and he's much more of a loner, and so he's more of kind of in his own world. He's trying to figure things out on his own. Will's friends, with all his D&D buddies, they're all led by Mike, and it sort of follows around him. Him and his friends, they're all trying to find out where Mike is, and in the process, they find this girl named Eleven. She was like supposedly like an 11th experiment in some sort of experiment. And so they're thinking, whoa. And not only was she an experiment, she has magical powers and stuff, or she has powers that we can't really understand, and it may be the key to finding out where Will is at. And while that's going on, like, Will's older brother is also out looking for him, and he gets sort of caught into his own sort of adventure with this girl Nancy, who's dating kind of this jerk kind of guy, and they have an interesting sort of arc they go through, and you're not really sure which way it's gonna go. It's very, are they gonna fall in love, or is Nancy gonna be with this guy? You don't know. And I think I like the ambiguity between that. I think it made it more fresh in my eyes. And I forgot to mention the sheriff. He is also, at first seems like doesn't really care about this, just kind of wants to do his job. But eventually, once he starts knowing more and more about this stuff, he gets more invested, and he wants to help Winona Ryder in this movie. And so it's kind of like a three-way sort of plot, kind of like they're each trying to find Will in their own way, and then it all kind of converges towards the last few episodes, where they all kind of come together, and that was very interesting. I loved how that was told. The Duffer Brothers, who directed this series, they're freaking amazing. I haven't seen Wayward Pines yet, but I want to now, just because this series has been so amazing. Yeah, I think I liked all the bad 80s haircuts that people had and the styles. Oh my god, yeah. If you want a series that really gets the 80s well, this is it. It gets everything. They have to use they have to go to a library, and not like they can't use the internet because it's not really around right now. Yeah, so they have to go to the library and then try to figure out if they could find any information. It's like, whoa, it really changes how the story is. Like, it makes it harder for them to figure out things. And then there's one point in the show where they need to build a sort of containment unit thing. So Elle's her nickname, 11. Because she needs to figure out where Will is at, and so they talk to their teacher, actually, who is, I think, one of my favorite characters. He's a very science kind of buff. He really looks out for these kids, and he's got really nice taste. He loves movies, and my God, he's just so funny in every scene he shows up in. So I liked all the side characters. They were all great, every single one. I think if you want to see a good show that represents a decade, like in film, basically, that's brand new, Stranger Things is definitely it. I think compared to a lot of other like shows that have done this, where it's been more of a parody, like Kung Fury. I love that movie, but it's more of a parody of the 80s than anything. So I don't know. I think this is a great series, and you should watch it. We're getting more and more like kind of 80s centric kind of TV shows that take place in the 80s. Kind of like in the 80s. I think a lot of shows took place in the 50s, like Happy Days. So it's kind of a neat little turnaround where now we're getting to this point. Like, we're probably going to get to the 90s eventually, probably in the next couple years, maybe 5 years from now. I can't wait for that. It'll probably be kind of X-File-ish. This show is actually a little bit like an X-Files-esque and Twin Peaks-esque. If you've ever read Stephen King books or love Spielberg movies or even John Carpenter, it gets really John Carpenter-y towards the end of this series. I freaking love that. I don't want to say too much else about this series, but you should definitely go see it, because it's only 8 episodes. It's on Netflix, so if you haven't seen it already, go check it out. It's awesome. But you guys all take care and have a merry day.